Alrighty. That was weird. I don't know why the stream ended. Apparently 4 minutes in. How long have I been going? Oh, too long. Make sure we have audio here. And we do. Alrighty. So let's get back into it. Let's see. I only got 4 minutes in. So let's go back into market up good today. There's a basic thing on that. All the indices are up today, led by the Russell Small Cap Index. What did we talk about? We talked about this lady, real estate lady, wants 5% interest rate on houses, and that will really boost her sales. And boomers think you need to make the least amount of money, $100,000 salary a year, in order to be financially successful, while Gen Z somehow thinks you need $587,000 salary to make it, and they just want to buy too much stuff. And I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't know if it's because they've been coddled and so they think they need to have things or think they deserve them. Don't know what the dealio is on that. But also, interestingly, and maybe, I mean, they're just answering like survey questions. So who knows? That's why the presidential election polls, that's why those are always wrong. So they think they have to earn almost $600,000 a year to really make it. But they also, 71% of them said they expect to achieve financial success in their lifetimes. 71% of these kids are not going to make almost $600,000 a year. Sorry about that, kids. So, and again, you thinking you have to make that much money, and then you think you're gonna be the percentage of your age group that does make that much money. Again, that could all be because of the coddling. Who knows? Who knows? But definitely kids more coddled as the ages go by. And what was that one? I have no money. Oh, thousands of Americans see their savings vanish in Synapse fintech, financial tech crisis. Thousands of Americans received little or nothing from savings accounts that were locked during the collapse of fintech middleman Synapse. Yeah, and that's why you don't want to go to any financial institution that is trendy or like a new business. Why would you go to them instead of going to a name that you have heard of before? Customers believe the accounts were backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government, and they should have been. They should have been. They should have made sure of that first. Let's see. Spoke to a dozen customers caught in the predicament. People who have lost sums ranging from 7,000 to well over 200,000. And what is the amount? I think it's 225,000 or something like that, or 250,000 that should be insured, FDIC insured at any financial institution. Let's see, there's not a yet a full tally of those left shortchanged. At Yada alone, 13,725 customers say they're being offered a combined $11.8 million despite putting in $64.9 million in deposits. Well, this company doesn't have it. Where are they going to get it from? And so if it's the government that is paying you back, if maybe they didn't have FDIC insurance. So if they didn't, that's on you for putting your money there. So you have to be smart enough to know that stuff, reverse bank robbery. You have to be smart enough to check for that. to understand how life works and where you put your money. And that's why you don't jump on the trendy things like your Robinhood, although it's been around a while now, but you don't invest like that. You go to a brokerage that you've heard of. Example, I use Fidelity. Vanguard is fine. All of them are fine, I'm sure. But again, you want to make sure that it's one you heard of, and you can double check to make sure that they are FDIC insured for any financial. Oh, and that's not. These are just for savings accounts, so that wouldn't necessarily apply to all the ones that I just mentioned there. But yeah, you don't have to go to a brand new bank. I wouldn't be an early adopter of a brand new bank. Not advised for me. What else do I have? Let's see. So we are still going. This is on the Amazon. 20% off though. Lego Star Wars: A New Hope. And that would be the first Star Wars movie that ever came out. And I looked at it on the screen and it just said Star Wars and then started saying, it was a dark time for the rebellion on there. They started doing the crawl. So there was no episode 4. There was no A New Hope on there. But this is the ship that shows up right at the beginning, a smaller ship, and the much bigger ship, the Star Destroyer, is firing at it, and they often do that. You could do the underneath shot of it and just pan slowly, and that gives you an idea of how big it is, and you're supposed to be intimidated by that, which is what empires like to do to you. But also in this, you get, in addition to the characters that were actually there in it, you also get a... where is it? Where did it show it? You get a exclusive minifigure with this. Oh, there it is, right there on that one. Okay, yeah, exclusive minifigure, Clone Trooper 5s with this, exclusive, 25th anniversary, exclusive. And so this is the only place you can get this one. And this character was not in this particular movie. He was in the Clone Wars. He's a clone. That's why I called him Clone Trooper 5s. Because he was CT5555, but they gave each other like nicknames and stuff. And so he was 5s. So, cool. All right, let's get in some questions here. I don't know why my stream just stopped earlier. All right. Let's do some questions. Going from hourly to salary. Make sure we're still going. All right. Let's see. We did going from hourly to salary. Car loan, pay down any extra money as I get it, or save up then pay it off. That's from Pinion 425. And yes, you pay it off as soon as you get it, because if you pay it down as soon as you get it, you are paying less interest because there's less principal because you just paid money on it. And so you don't, and that goes the opposite way for investing as well. You don't save up a lump sum. And let's pull up the S&P 500, and let's go to the 5 years. So you don't wait in here. You don't wait to save up and try to time the market, because if you do that here while it keeps going up, if you're trying to wait for the next crash, this is not really a crash, but it is down. And so if you wait that long, you are losing all of this growth here. And so you don't try to time the market. You buy on a set schedule like with every paycheck, you would buy some out of every paycheck, and then you get all the growth as you go along, and that is called dollar cost averaging. Yes, you're going to buy it when it's higher sometimes, and then it'll go lower, but most of the time you're going to be buying it when it's lower, and then it will be going up to a new high. Maybe it's not quite a high for the, because that is down. November 8th, 5998. So the S&P might not be quite at a high today, as I said previously. All right. And back to here. So yeah, you don't do that. I was wondering if it's better to throw all my extra money at this debt as I get it. Yes, that is better. And that math works both ways, whether you're paying off debt or whether you're investing. You do it little by little, and that benefits you more than saving up. I know I can kind of see the logic of that, where some people might think it's better to save up a bunch and then you affect it more, but that's not how it works. Alrighty. Old hand 9934. We're debt free. Freedom. Just move into baby step 7. Excellent. Today, after paying off our house in 9 years. Fabulous. Fabulous. 47 man, 47 female, married with 2 kids in college. Well, I guess we are celebrating by going on the Dave Ramsey cruise in March 2025. Excellent. And that is approved. Step 4 and beyond, you are approved to budget that cruise for yourself. The steps work. They absolutely do. That much is certain. Stick to a budget, do them in order, and it will happen. This is even with plenty of Murphy's and stupid tax along the way. Right. Murphy's law is if something bad can happen, it will. And the stupid tax, that's the amount of money that you have to pay to fix something dumb with money that you did. Like debt, where you pay all the interest, that's your stupid tax. If you buy something that is dumb, like for example, NFTs, remember those kids? NFTs, dumb, not worth anything. So you lost money on that, that's stupid tax for doing that. Somebody breaks out a picture of something, a digital picture of something, and then says that's worth X amount, and one person pays that much for it, and then over time, like everybody else, and then all of a sudden people don't care about that anymore, and so you lost all your money. So stupid tax, absolutely. So good job being debt free and in step 7. Highly recommended. Throw me away. I won't do that. I'll read your question. 1992. Rent no more than a quarter your take-home pay is impossible. That is false. It can be. That can absolutely be the case if you are not making enough money. And especially if you're not making enough money and you live in a freaking high cost of living area. So who else is finding this just as impossible anymore with today's outrageous rates? Unless you want to live in the ghetto or have roommates. I'd really like to stick to this rule to retire with dignity. Well, then do it and stop complaining about it. Even if you have to have roommates. You can also move out of that higher cost of living area, or you can up your income. You can take steps with yourself to make your situation better. But it seems the new norm is you have to pay half your income to housing and just accept it. No, you don't have to. You're not forced to do that. Again, you can get your income up. You can work more, spend less, and then you can do that. And the ideas are hope. Yes, spend less, work more. Okay, I think I heard what I needed to hear. Oh, great. Okay. Guess my main problem is I don't want to spend a fortune more on rent just because price is basically doubling it in the past 2 years and will never go down. That's probably true. That could be it. And so guess what? You have to make more money. You have to do things. You can't just complain about rent being high, because that's not going to make it go lower. Complaining is not going to make it go lower. So you have to adapt. You have to embrace the reality of the price that it is, and you have to work more and spend less. Let's see, like the principle of this suddenly looking like a scam and being bad, I don't know. Because you don't want to blame yourself for not making more money. And you don't want to put the onus on yourself. You want to blame something. And it's fine. You can blame the economy. You can blame anything you want about high rent prices. But the fact is, that's not going to change. You being mad about it and calling it a scam, oh, that's a scam, that doesn't change anything. You still have to deal with the reality of the situation. So embrace the reality, get off your butt, quit spending money, and make more money. Which is expected to pay 1K more for some S-box in the ghetto just because. Yeah, again, it doesn't have to make sense to you. That is just the reality. Okay? You don't get a vote in that. You're not a landlord. You don't own property to rent out, so you don't get to decide that. Why did this happen, and what is the outlook like? Why did this happen? Inflation, scarcity of real estate, maybe? That could be one of the factors. Tons of different factors. Pandy could be involved. Who knows? So, but guess what? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why it happened, because even if you knew the exact reasons why it happened, that is not gonna fix it for you. So you need to worry about things that you can control, and that's the amount that you work, and that's the amount that you spend. Stop buying other stuff. No eating out. If you have a car payment, you sell it and get a cheap beater car. You take your lifestyle down to make up for the higher rent prices. And like I said, you can move to a cheaper cost of living area if you live in a high cost of living area. If you're born in it and then you don't end up making enough to live there, you don't get a pass just because you were born in an area. You still have to move sometimes. So, or in order to stay, you have to sacrifice more than the average person there would have to, probably. And so, sorry, all this complaining and this whining and stuff, that doesn't change anything. That you're still in that same situation. So it's a waste of time and energy to be whining about it and complaining about it and trying to understand it. You don't have to understand it, because you understanding it is not going to change one thing at all. You just need to understand what you need to do. Dealman 6. DDIELMAN 6. Car debt, and that's a no. I don't know. You're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey, and it's not run by Ramsey Solutions. The only forum that's run by Ramsey Solutions is on Facebook, and that is the Ramsey Baby Steps community. And if it's called something else, that's not run by Ramsey Solutions, just run by fans. This subreddit is run by fans, but they're pretty cool. They let me put some links to some of my parodies on there in the music playlist. But so if you haven't heard of Mr. Ramsey, he's the no debt guy. So that's a no. And so that's a never. You are never getting a loan for anything except perhaps a mortgage for a house you live in. And so, but paying 100% cash is the advice, but he will not yell at you if you get a mortgage on a house that you live in, on your residence, because 99.9% of the time it's going to be going up in value, unlike the car. First off, I'm new to Ramsey. Okay, so maybe, but if you're new to Dave, probably takes 5 seconds for you to learn that he's the no debt guy. And so That doesn't mean you get to have a car loan. I'm currently trying to save up for a house, and you don't do that while you still have debt. You pay off the debt first. So what you can do is, guess what Dave did for you and all of the rest of us. Guess what he did? He made a list of steps that you do. Now, not on here is baby step 0. I'll be working on a video this weekend about the missing baby steps. Going to start there with step 0. There's a lot of components of that, including the component that I'm going to talk about here for baby step 0 is where you decide to pay off of your dumb as crap debt, and you don't take out any more ever again, except maybe for a residence that you live in. And that would be the only exception. That, or you can take out a smaller loan to pay off the underwater amount of this car, and that way you can sell it. So there's no, you don't start saving for a down payment until you're done with baby step 3. In fact, the full emergency fund. So you're doing it wrong. Let's see what else doing wrong. I make roughly $84,000 a year, and I've got $40K in a savings account. You're doing it wrong. You should not have car debt and money in a savings account. You're doing it wrong. You need to get rid of all of your debt before you buy that house. This is a no, no, no. You're doing it wrong. Only debt I have is a $6,700 left. Why is that not paid off if you have $40,000 in a savings account? Dumb as crap, sir. Assuming it's a sir because of man right there. Oh, maybe not. Should I just attack the car payment and get that out of the way before anything else? Yes, you should, and you don't attack it with your new earnings. You take that money out of that savings account. I'm sorry, you want a house right away, apparently. That's a no. First, you have to pay that off, and then you readdress this savings account that you think is probably for down payment, and that's a no. This instead would be for your full emergency fund, and you have that before you even start saving for the down payment. And that's the thoughts on that. So yes, you do a lot of things to get them out of the way before anything else, like buying, and of your current things that you're talking about here, buying the house is absolute last. And before that is something you didn't even mention, which is the full emergency fund. Have to have that before you even start saving the down payment. So it's priorities here. Steps 1, 2, and 3, you do in order, one at a time. And then steps 4, 5, and 6, you do in order all at the same time as each other. But steps 1, 2, and 3, you're not investing in steps 1, 2, and 3. You're not saving a down payment in steps 1, 2, and 3. You're not saving extra than $1,000 that you start with for your start emergency fund. You're not saving 1 cent more than that until you are in baby step 3, until all your debts are paid off. After you get to $1,000 on baby step 1, then you move to baby step 2, and then you pay off all of your dumb debt. Pay it off. And only then do you have more than $1,000 savings. All the other money should be going to debt in step 2. So then you get the full emergency fund, and then you are on a solid foundation. You don't have any debt. You have a full emergency fund, and if you're going to buy a house, I recommend 6 months, because houses do come with extra risk, as in things on the house that can break and you will have to pay for. So I would recommend 6 months for that, even if you are single, if you are planning on buying a house. So get the 6-month emergency fund even before you start calling any of your money down payment, and none of the emergency fund becomes part of the down payment either. That's a no. Also, the house needs to be on a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. If you have to get a 30-year mortgage to afford the house payment, or to have there be more wiggle room, like a lot of people say about that, that's a no. You're going to be paying too much interest on that over 30 years. And, some people will say, oh, I'm going to get a 30 just so I don't have to pay it, but I'm still going to pay it off like a 15. And most people don't do that because something else will come up. And so that's the problem with the baby steps. People always want to do that kind of thing. They always want to do, well, I'm going to not follow, I'm going to get a 30-year mortgage so I don't have to pay more, but I will pay it off faster, and they don't. Average people are gonna if you give an inch, they're gonna take a mile. And so with these steps and change like all kinds of other things, so that's why there's no exceptions. That's why this works for everyone. Alrighty. Physical cash not only did it twice, not only influences how much we spend, but also fosters a profound sense of psychological ownership that digital payments cannot replicate. That's true. And so that's why so the guy copied it from this person and then forwarded it or something. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, I mean, this is correct though. This is the visceral nature of cash. Its smell, feel, and the act of counting it creates an emotional connection that digital payments lack. That's right, because you're just going and it's over. Even with debit cards, people spend more money. It's been proven. Numerous studies. But debit cards are fine. Credit cards, no, because that's debt. And so that's a no, because Mr. Ramsey is the no debt guy, in case you were not aware. What up, Robert G? Thank you so much, sir. New chair, that's right. That's right, I got my, what was it? $428. I don't know where the extra $28 came from, but I'll take it from my deposit from my Arkansas apartment. And so I got the 428, and I thought, I'll get a new chair. Saul Goodman. All right. Better call Saul. Dave Ramsey podcast question. Okay, let's see what the answer is. Recently came across the podcast, but does Dave ever actually do the podcast? Yes, he does. And guess what? It's not a podcast. It's a radio show. And when it airs on YouTube, that is delayed 2 hours, so that is not live. All the kids love to call it a live, though. I mean, technically it is live because YouTube doesn't have a different word for when you stream pre-recorded video live, which is what they actually do. It seems the last while of never him, but rather two other guys hosting the show. No, there's a bunch of other. There is. Let's go in order of seniority. Rachel, Ken may even be before Rachel started working there. Ken, and then George, and then Dr. John Deloney, and then Jade Warshaw. So you got 5 other people than Dave that can do that. And guess what? He's the business owner. The business owner can decide to go on a vacation for a month whenever he wants to, and he often does. And so that's the reality of the situation. Everybody loves Dave. Everybody wants him to be on the show all the time, but that is not going to happen. So embrace the reality of that. Thanks again, Robert G. Coach Steve Money channel is brought to you by Robert G. Okay, significance 09. Where to begin? Income $88,000. Savings is $20K. Mortgage $370K. Monthly $2,600 is the mortgage amount, payment per month. Car payment monthly. Okay, so guess what? That means you don't have $20K in savings. Savings should be, let's look at, see right here. It's right here. Baby step 1 says save $1,000 as fast as possible. I don't see on there where it says keep adding to savings while you only pay a little bit extra to debt. It doesn't say that. Or pay minimums to debt. It doesn't say that. It says save $1,000 and that's it. You don't save 1 cent extra. All extra money goes to the debt. And the car payment is debt. So that's a no. Would be done by February. You're done right now because you take money out of that. 20K savings to pay that off. I'm the unemployed wife, okay? That's fine. You still have the 20K in savings, so you're paying that off. Planning to go to dental school, 300K, and raise kids in the next couple of years. And have you thought about how that looks like financially? Because guess what? $370,000 mortgage, $2,600 a month payment, and then also going to dental school and raising kids. So that means either you'll have to pay for daycare, or you're gonna have to stay home with the children. And then how's dental school going to be paid for? So if you're going to listen to the Ramsey advice, you're not doing loans for that. You know, people always say, oh, it's a good expense because then I'll get a better job and then I'll make more money and stuff like that. And that's a no. Guess what? Guess what happens to millions, probably, of great people? They're fine people. Guess what? They don't graduate college or dental school. Guess what? Yeah. And then after that, you may not be able to get a job that makes as much money as you thought you would. And that's what you also want to check out. You want to check out how much money you should be making when you even do get out of dental school. So you want to check into all that and not that just be left up to fate. It's like whatever it is. You know, I'm going to go to college. It doesn't matter what degree I get. Doesn't matter how much it costs. It'll be fine. I'll be able to pay it off. That is dumb. That's a dumb way of thinking. And so this person wants to do everything. Unemployed, so no job. Planning to go to dental school, which is going to cost $300,000. Where's that coming from? Where's that coming from? And then you also want to raise kids all at the same time. That's too much stuff at the same time with a $370,000 mortgage. So the car is taken care of. If it can be done by February, you can pay it off immediately with that 20K. And I don't understand why people, I mean, you know, I guess they just think that is quite normal because most people do that. You know, I mean, it's probably more common for people not to have any savings while also having a car payment. But a lot of them say, "Oh, I'm gonna have savings, you know, in case I need it, and I'll just keep this debt around." And so, but that's not the advice. The advice is no debt and to prioritize no debt. So let's see. He is 31 and I'm 28. It'll take about 5 years for me to earn a good income. Yeah, yeah. Didn't start off 150 to 200K. Yeah, if you graduate, if you pass, if something else doesn't happen, that you can actually do that. And guess what? And so you also got to think, a lot of these people here that want to do dental school or some kind of specialty medical, they also think they are going to get out of school and somehow they're going to magically get a building with a with a medical practice, and then like this person is going to get a building. And where's that rent money coming from before you have any clients, before you have any patients? So you got to think about all of that, and you don't just be dumb. I mean, 31 and 28 is too old to just be doing things willy-nilly like that. Oh, I'll just make it. Oh, all dentists graduate. All dentists will start off making 150, 200K, and of course I'm going to open my own practice. That way I get all the money. People do a lot of stupid things in life here, and even at any age. I mean, there's no age where the dumb stops, and so you got to think more about the reality of the situation, and you cannot do all these at the same time. Most assuredly, you cannot have a 370K mortgage while you go to dental school and not work. To help pay off that mortgage. And then at that point, and then if you're going to raise kids while you're going to dental school, how's that going to work? How you gonna raise kids if you don't have time to work while you go to dental school? And again, taking 5 years to earn a good income. So, how does that look? You have to 46 comments on there, so probably somebody mentioned the realities of life to this young lady. Hopefully. Any advice is to accept the reality of the situation, and almost certainly you cannot do all this stuff all at the same time like you're planning to do. And you likely will have to work for someone else as soon as you graduate, if you even graduate. And there's no loans for dental school. That's a no. Mr. Ramsey is the no debt guy, in case you were not aware. Oh, I didn't get my drink. That's all right. All right. Robert says, it's so crazy I'm... And that's it. Chat disconnected. Now reconnected. Looks like it's still going, though. There we go. Only 32. Robert G, only 32. Still a baby. And if you got 30 years left in the market, you are a baby financially still. So you're doing great. Phenomenal position, right? But everyone has to have everything now. That's correct. And their parents took 30 years to get what they want in 2 years, wild times. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier about these Gen Z kids, where they somehow, at the same time, they think that they need $587,000 a year salary to be successful, but they also think 71% of them, they say they expect to achieve financial success in their lifetime. So they think they're going to make that much. 71% of them are not going to make that much. I am sorry to tell you that. Sorry, that's just the way life works. I don't know why my chat keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. Weird. All right. Where were we? Oh, we're doing questions. Let's continue to do that. This is from Advanced Wheel 9677. Hard to improve on the wheel, so how was it advanced? That's what I want to know. Hope for the hopeless, okay? Nearly anyone looking my situation, at my situation maybe, would say that I should consider bankruptcy. Maybe, but that should be your last option. Absolute last option. It's pretty dire. But I decided to just deal with it, okay? I got this in the situation and we'll get out of it. Okay, great. I'm not going to tank my credit score, thereby limiting all my options I could ever dream of. Okay, but we don't care about credit score here because we're not borrowing money except for a house that we live in. And when you do that, you don't need a credit score. You can get a mortgage with a thing called manual underwriting. That's where a human looks at your bill paying history and your rent paying history and says, oh, they'll probably be all right, so we'll go ahead and loan them the money, instead of just putting a credit score into a computer and then letting the computer decide if you need money or not, if they want to loan you money. Simply going to pay it all. Okay, great. Do that. Not allowing any excuses. Fabulous. That's exactly what you should do. There's no more money going into credit in this process either. Fabulous. If I don't have the money in my checking account, it doesn't exist and I don't buy. That's fabulous. And even if you do have money in your checking account, guess what? If it's not 100% necessary, you still do not buy it. I mean, you got to accept the reality that those things do exist and you might see them from time to time, but that doesn't mean you need to buy it. Gentleman in the Ramsey Show chat today, maybe a troll, you never know, was talking about buying skins for a video game. That's basically like different outfits and stuff like that, or when you can like change the color of a building and so forth. Things like that, but just dumb stuff where you just pay for that. And they make a lot of money doing that. And of course, they deserve every cent that they get. But I don't think people that have debt should be doing that. They should be putting money on debt instead. See, I got a second job. Fabulous. That's exactly what you should do, and it's going surprisingly well. Fabulous. I can't even begin to explain how tired, how exhausted I am. That's great. That way you don't have time to do things that cost money. That way you go home and go to bed instead of like needing to have Netflix to watch. At this point, I work 7 days a week. Fabulous. But it's temporary hashtag season. Only for a season, and it's for the greater good. Every single day that I work my extra job, I pay another debt off or something like that. I get the gist of it. No need to go into the rest of it. So fabulous. Oh, so in order, and I thought it might be trying to get hope for him or herself, but instead it's hope for other people. Cool. And that's a lovely change to see. Aphrodisia, reliable, used SUV suggestions. I don't know anything about cars, so I can't tell you. Whatever you buy, it's going to be used, of course, as you said. And you have your mechanic check it out. You do not trust the dealer, and don't even buy from a dealer because they're going to add to the price that you would get it for private sale. And yes, you have to do a little bit more work on it. You have to do the title and stuff and so forth. Quit being lazy and get the cheaper car rather than pay more for the car just because the dealership takes care of everything. Stop being lazy. It's just your time. Your time is free. You have plenty of time that you don't. I'm sure you're doing some dumb stuff that you don't need to be doing so that you can take time off and get that title stuff taken care of. So buy and sell, private sale, and leave the dealership out of it, because dealership do be taking a bite. Now, because they're not doing it just to make sure everybody has vehicles. They're not doing that, or make sure that anybody gets the full value of their vehicle. They're not doing it for that. They are doing that to make money off of you. And so, yeah. All right, let's see. Reliable makes models of SUV to buy used. I stupidly got a 5-year lease on an SUV. Why do you need an SUV? If you have one child, that doesn't mean you need an SUV or a minivan. They can fit in. They have car seats that work with compact cars, I assure you. A couple of years ago, and I'm hoping to get out of my $700 a month payment. I considered just buying it out, but is that a dumb lease then? But it will be roughly $30K to do so, and I already had an issue with it where the entire engine had to be rebuilt. Yeah, so I'm not buying that one. So I'm concerned that the vehicle would be a bit of a lemon and potentially have other big issues. It could. Thankfully, the engine and financially, yeah, you should go with something used and cheap, and you pay for it 100% in cash. Thankfully, the engine repair was covered by warranty, but coming up on 100,000 kilometers soon. I'm underwater on it, sure, and I have to pay mileage over it, sure. That's fine. That's stupid tax I was talking about before. And at that point, it will no longer be covered, right? I'm looking to spend less than $20,000 Canadian. Any idea you'd luck with, and I don't know the vehicles, and so again I would recommend private sale. Baby step 2, something really cheap, and it should be way less than 20K. It should be enough to get you from point A to point B, and that's it. Does not have to be an SUV. Children can fit in compact cars, and they can still live. I have 2 children that made it to adulthood, despite being transported in a compact car. So stop the justification station and make smart financial decisions every day, as we say around here. Misty Bikini, all is warm. Mr. Bikini likes the new chair. Me too. It's pretty cool. Better than sitting in a kitchen chair, for sure. Kitchen table chair. Better for sure. And it is, what is it? 43 degrees, warmer than it was yesterday. So can't complain. But sometimes I still do, you know, the Eagle song. Life's been good to me so far. Little pitchy dog. This from F Taxes. All right. Insurance deductibles after baby steps completed. Completely debt free. Everyday Millionaires Club. Fabulous. What's Dave's or the consensus on insurance deductibles to balance premiums and out of pocket in the event of a mishap? Well, you can do whatever you want on that. I'm running 500 comprehensive deductibles on 2 vehicles with rental coverage for about $50 per day for 30 days, which equates to $13.84 per 6 months. 4-year-old minivan and 1-year-old 4x4 light medium pickup. Bodily injury, 100K one person, 300K per incident, per accident/accident. Property damage liability, $100,000. Medical payments, $3K, regardless of fault. You need to make sure it's full. It needs to be full coverage. So you need to have completely full coverage. So if you can cash flow that yourself, you're self-insured. So if you don't need to do that, then like I said, you can be self-insured. Of course, sometimes you are required by your state to get insurance. For home, 600K current market. So in that case, if you can pay for it yourself, then you can get the cheapest policy that you have to by law. 600K current market value home, 10-year-old San Francisco ranch. Is that what that SFR means? Home in suburbs. Stucco, concrete tile roof, non-floodplain, no. Oh, this is because he's wondering about the insurance on that. Trying to save him some money from the insurances. 1K deductible cost $838 annual, which I think is reasonable. Yeah, on a $100,000 house, yeah, pay the full coverage on the car, sir. You don't have any debt, you don't, so you know. I mean, quit trying to min-max your life here. You're in a great spot, millionaire, debt free. Doesn't say if it. Hopefully, I mean, especially if the house is paid off, yeah, I mean, you can pretty much self-insure, but you still do have to get the required insurance. Like, for example, even though if the house is paid off, the HOA, Homeowners Association, may require that you have insurance on there. And so you would just do the minimum, and you would just do the minimum payment. If you have savings, if you have extra money that you can pay for no matter what happens to you in your car, you know, and or other drivers, if you're at fault for that, you can pay for all of that out of pocket, then you don't need much insurance for that. But otherwise, you should have full insurance, full coverage. Cyclone storm got me. We don't have power. Oh no, that's not fun. Using generator that's old, but hey, it's working. Yeah, working is what counts. I'm old and working as well. It's really hard to start. I may get a new one, but it's expensive. Oh, a new generator? Yeah, do you have power outages often where you are? I mean, if it goes out once a year, I perhaps maybe wouldn't spend that money. Professional air, 104, paid off house. Would you guys leverage? No, there's no Mr. Ramsey's the no debt guy. He's the no risk guy. So you're not doing debt leverage. This is the Dave Ramsey subreddit, not the Financial Bro subreddit. It's the Dave Ramsey one. So that means no risk, no debt leverage. I've paid off my 96K mortgage. Fabulous. It's worth 150 to 160. Fabulous. I have 120K in cash. Fabulous. I have a HELOC now for $43,000 on paid off house, and that's a no. You pay that off too. Guess what? You're in step 2. Congratulations. This is the exact kind of person that thinks he's not in step 2. Assuming a man, because they tend to be more dumb. I want to buy. Speaking of being dumb, I want to buy a 160K duplex cash with HELOC. That's a no. You do not take out a loan on your house. You do not debt leverage your house to buy a duplex. You trying to be a whiz at finances, learn English first. You don't add an apostrophe to make property plural. You do not do that. And so it's not the fact that you only have one mortgage. That's not the fact of that. The fact is that you do not debt leverage your house to buy anything. So there's no HELOC at all. No, no, no. If you want to be a landlord, if you want to have an extra property, guess what you're doing? You're saving for it and paying for it 100% in cash. So there's no more mortgage for you. Sorry. No more mortgages. You paid off your residential mortgage. You're done with mortgages. No more mortgages for you. No, but duplex is paid off and can be rented. I make 98K a year. Yeah. Big deal. That doesn't change anything. No debt outside mortgage. And so you cannot do that. You don't buy extra properties either in cash while you still have your mortgage. So you need to pay off that mortgage and quit trying to be a financial bro. 34 years old, no kids, no marriage. I'm investing the 15% in 401k and 8% and maxing Roth IRA. What do you mean at 8%? An 8% match, or he thinks it's if it's only making 8% the past 2 years, you are in bad investment, sir. So you're doing everything wrong. Everything you're doing is bad. And let's let Janosch weigh in on that.
Smart. If everything you're doing is bad, I want you to know this.
I do want him to know that. Fortunately, I won't. Probably one of the 54 people told him and said, "Hey, you know this is Dave Ramsey subreddit, right? Are you aware of how he feels about debt?" You know, yeah, but I'm an exception. No, you're not. So this would all be dumb stuff. If you do this, this is all dumb stuff. Good luck to Mr. Professional Air. And I don't think it's professional. I think it's dumb. Dumb air. Critical term 427 budget update. I'm finding it almost impossible to feed a family of 4 plus pet for $500 a month. Well, let's see. So I'm one person. And I spend about less than $200 a month on groceries. That also includes like toiletries and other things like that as well. So that's like 175. But the family is 4 plus pet for $500 a month. Yeah, you might not be able to do that, or you have to start buying really, really cheap things. See, I don't have any debt, so I do get Raising Cane's or other fast food every so often, and that is included in that amount that I just gave you, about 175 or so a month. And so, but if you're going out to eat and you also may have other dumb expenses that you don't think are dumb, that you just think are normal, like 5 different subscriptions for watching things on TV. You don't need that. And so there might need to be more income happening here and less spending for sure. Husband and I started Dave's plan a few weeks ago. Okay, so may not completely understand it yet. So may not be involved with all the aware of all the ins and outs. 90% of the way to baby step one. Great. Got the $900 for that. Okay, that's great. That said, I'm finding it very difficult to feed my family plus our cat on $125 per week. Who told you that had to be the number? So, I mean, it's great to get it as low as you can. And maybe you could buy some cheaper cat food and you could buy some cheaper human food than you're buying. Let's see, we didn't really have anything else left to cut. You don't think so, but trust me, I could find something. Almost always I can find something. And, you know, people are like, oh, that's only $15. Well, hey, $15 helps immensely. Or they're like, oh, I really want to keep that. Tough. Do you want to keep that and be in debt longer and have problems feeding your family at a respectable amount? But, you know, you get to make the choice on all of this stuff. You don't have to follow Mr. Ramsey's advice at all. Let's see. And so who told you that it needed to be 125? You saw some average or something like that, or something on it. I mean, even this on this subreddit, somebody telling you that it should be 125 per person. That's not a Ramsey thing. So let's see. So we decided to cut our grocery budget by 60% and went, oh, I see. That's how they got to it. From $1,200 per month to $500 per month. We're on week 2 of this, and it is difficult. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I would maybe start. I mean, I would have only cut it by half probably to begin with, at most, maybe even less than that. And so you just have to watch the spending of any grocery items. And like I said, no eating out. And also you keep the receipts so you can look and ponder over them, and then you stop buying the most expensive stuff on there and eat the boring, cheaper stuff more often. Sorry, beans and rice. And you don't have to eat beans and rice at all. That's just code for cheap food items. Let's see, already almost out. Realistic, you can also eat less if you're overeating. That can help. Realistically, 125 a week gets us around 3 to 4 days worth of meals and snacks that we somehow have to try to stretch to 6 and 7. Do less snacks. The whole thing about snacks is, you know, I mean, I get it for little kids, but the adults are not little kids, so you don't need snacks. You don't need them. So you could cut out the snacks for the adults. So you talk about things you can cut out. You can cut out those. You just don't eat as much. So you can try that as well. People never think of that, though. Somehow I have to try to stretch to 6-7 days. Well, see, you're saying you have to do this, but this is your own thing by cutting it more than half. So, and the problem, since you've just only done this a few weeks ago, the average person, it takes 3 months to get your budget to where it works correctly. And so you need to give yourself a little bit of grace on that. And you just need to not make a blanket decision with no information at all other than that's what you wanted to do, or you thought that's a good thing to cut, and that way we can put the extra $700 per month towards debt, which is fabulous. Well, baby step 1 first, but then to debt. So that is fabulous, but you just picking a number out of thin air doesn't mean that fits with the reality. So let's see. So you're the one that's putting this on yourself. So you did this. I don't know where you got the number 500 from. I don't know if this is sustainable long term. Does anybody have any tips or advice? Yeah. You buy cheaper stuff. You buy the Walmart brand of stuff instead of the name brand of stuff. You, like I said, you keep the receipts and you ponder them, you look at them until you're tired of looking them, and then you look at them some more to figure out what not to buy. And normally that's going to be the most expensive stuff, and you just don't do that, and you eat the less expensive stuff more often. So, I don't know. People don't automatically do that though. They just like make it unrealistic for them and just pick a number out of their butt and try to make that work in the budget. That's not how reality works. I don't know. Oh, I did that already. So that's my tips or advice. Yeah, you need to cut it down from 1,200 for sure. How much you'll be able to get it down, I don't know. Grocery prices are going to be dependent on the area you live in, etc., etc. But yeah, you stop buying the most expensive stuff and eat beans and rice. And you don't necessarily have to eat beans and rice, but those are just a metaphor for extremely cheap food. I don't know what else in our budget could be cut. Oh, I could check my profile previous. I don't have that kind of time. If you posted it right here or a link to it right here, I would do it. Let's see if she did. Because I am interested. Because honey child, I could find some stuff for you to cut for sure. And you'd be like, well, no, I don't want to cut that. And sorry, like on this case, if you're having a problem feeding the family for less than $1,200, there's not going to be travel sports for the kids. Sorry about that. They don't get a vote. Check my profile previous post for budget and debt info. Okay, yeah, I don't have time for that, unfortunately, but that would be interesting to look at because, I could look at it too and not be able to find anything. And then I say, well, you're just being hella unrealistic about cutting your grocery budget in more than half of what you spend. I would, maybe I would try to do it $200 at a time. I would start with that and then try to keep, and that also will be less of an abrupt change. So that may help actually if you do that. Cut it down to 1,000 the first month, and then the 800. And then see whatever else you can get cut out from it. But you can't just magically pick a number and decide that's the number you want it to be and then be upset because it doesn't work. It's because you just picked the number based on wanting to be out of debt, which is fabulous, but that's not reality as far as how much groceries cost. Well, and you know what I should do? After I play a clip, I need to switch back to the chat. It's really hard to start making it. Oh, that's the thing, not the baby steps. Mr. Bikini has to do everything herself. That's right. Yeah, people love the arbitrage. TikTok, finance, financial bro. Yep, take out a loan to pay cash for something. Yep, dumb. Just queue up the Price is Right horn for this guy. Yeah, I did Janosch from Ghostbusters 2 instead. Yeah, well, people don't want to, some of them are trolls for sure, but some of them just want, basically, if you're putting it in the chat, in the Ramsey Show chat, your life situation, for somebody else to weigh in on it, or in this subreddit, if you put it in there, you want somebody to agree with you, is basically the deal. Because you know what you could do? You could not type all this out and you could have already done what dumb thing you're trying to do. So let's see. Hesitant to start chipping away at the mortgage, changed my mind. Well, might not be able to. Recently into baby step 6. So if you're bothered to go from step 1 through 5, and now you're on 6, and now you have a problem, maybe after that many steps, you could take Dave's word for it that that's the right thing to do. But we'll see. Let's see. And the baby step 6, after paying off $315K in debt and getting the emergency fund sorted, Also, it's not baby step 6 by itself. You're doing 4, 5, and 6 now. So if you're still doing it. So 6 is not by itself. You're eternally investing the 15%. Even in retirement, if you don't need the money to live on, you should still invest it. And that's how you build wealth and give a lot of it away. That's how you build the wealth part, is you continue to invest. The only time you wouldn't invest in retirement is if you needed that 15% to live on in retirement, because your investments aren't enough. Let's see. Not sure what to do with my money now. If I take the broke/normal route, making normal payments, would have the house paid off in January 2052, and I would pay a crap load more of interest, which is dumb, so do not do that. If I pour absolutely all extra resources toward it, not exactly gazelle intense. Well, if it's all extra resources towards it, I would say that is gazelle intense. Well, I guess if you're not working an extra job, that's not gazelle intense. Okay. But anyway, but tight, reasonable budget. We'd be done February 2028. Yeah. So, I mean, dude, what don't you understand about the math here? That is 24 years extra of interest you'd be paying on the house if you do normal minimum payments. Why can't you do that in your own head? You're smart enough to try to think of a way to finesse the situation and such. So what in the world? I loosened up and did half investments, half mortgage. Done October. Oh, if I loosened up and did half investments, half mortgage. And that's a no, too. You should only be doing 15% until the house is paid off. So you only do. What would Dave do? What would you do and what would Dave do? I mean, it's the Dave Ramsey subreddit. It's not the Financial Bro subreddit. So why wouldn't we do what Dave would do? So, and granted, again, as always, in any situation, people are welcome to do what they want to do, but they didn't just do that. They put it in the subreddit, so that makes it content for me. So thank you very much for doing that. And then I get to weigh on it. But if you wanted to do it, you could just do it without getting anybody else's opinion on it. 145 people weighed in on it, and probably they told him he's doing it wrong. So yeah, you shouldn't be investing any more than 15% until the mortgage is paid off. Because guess what? That is the same dumb crap as the person having a car loan and having $20,000 in savings. That's the same dumb crap. It's debt leverage, and that's a no. So right, and if you did have investments, have mortgage, you're only changing the number by 2 years. So why bother to do that? Just get rid of the house payment, and then when that's done, guess what? Then you're on step 7, and then you can invest whatever you want. You can invest way more than 15%. But yeah, you should be also, you do the investing, at least 15% forever, and just kid college if that's a thing for you. And of course, pay the mortgage off early, and that's as early as possible. That's not trying to half-ass and do half investing and half mortgage. Dumb. Spending too much time thinking instead of just you've gotten up to baby step 6, right? So it has all worked, right? And so why don't you just take Dave's word for that last one? Finding real solutions, early career, MD and CPA couple sharing their actual finances, 2024, 11/17, okay? Of all Dave's perspective, the one I agree with the most, oh great. Are you going to tell me the one you don't agree with too? I feel that might be coming. Let's see, is that when you're with your partner/spouse, you are one, that's correct. Not a partnership, that's right. Not a percentage, not incorporated, not separate accounts, one. That's right. Why do I like that? I can't wait to hear why. Because there are better ways to protect yourself legally and it makes tracking everything way easier. Absolutely. So then you don't get in the situation where there's hidden debt and such. Hey, hey. Okay. I don't know if the hey, hey is in there, but I mean, I throw stuff in from songs, so I can't say anything about that. I'm cash first, and I share our real personal finances. Okay. We are early career MD, CPA, couple living in Canada. How early in our career are we? Okay, and what's the? I don't understand the. Oh, they just want to tell the finances. They don't have any questions. Is it the brag call? This is when you say if it's a call to the Ramsey show, you say this is a brag call. Cash first finances. I don't see what the point though is. Always happy to answer questions directly or via DM. Okay, because it's a CPA, so they trying to make some money here. That's fine. I try to as well. But first appointment's always free. Consultation in the what's that called? Ticker down below. calendly.com/coachstevemoney. And if you have money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment. What time is it? Oh, okay. I went a little bit longer because of catch up with the chat first because of the stream cutting out after 4 minutes for some reason. Robert Jesus, people just want their approval to think right that their situation is unique and deserves a pass on the baby steps. Right, there's no passes on the baby steps. You can certainly do non-baby step stuff, and that would just make you normal. Most people will not take this advice. Alrighty, once again, as I was saying, Coach Steve Money, I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified. Yes, certified financial coach. And if you got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule that free financial coaching consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. Again, ticker, and also it is in the video description. You can email me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney, CashApp $CoachSteveMoney, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Of course, super chats. There's super stickers as well for lives and for pre-recorded videos, which I'm probably going to put out one this weekend on baby step 0 and step 3, the missing baby steps, and those are called super thanks on the pre-recorded videos, where you can do that through the YouTube. Of course, they take 30%, but I will not quibble about that. If that's the way you want to donate, I can't say anything about that, and so that's fine. Every cent is appreciated. Where else was I? Upcoming streams. Ramsey Show, Aftershow show is Monday through Fridays, 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks to Robert G for sponsoring the Coach Steve Money YouTube channel. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.